cleared for takeoff. Columbia, this is Houston. Go ahead, over.
Good evening and welcome in to Indians Minor League Magazine. I'm Al Pulowski with former Tribe left-hander Jason Stanford. And Jay, the way things are going with the minor leaguers, I think it's very good you watch this show because these guys are coming up.
Oh, very true. You're going to see a lot of stuff going on with a lot of movement, and it's fun to see the kids really excel at what they're supposed to be doing.
And on Sunday, we just saw Jinmar Gomez. What a start. All right, here's what's coming up on the show today. Of course, we'll take you around the system and all the teams in the Indians organization. Then Scrappers GM Dave Smith talks with Jason about the fun stuff taking place at Eastwood Field. Later, you'll meet K-Tribe starter Joe Gardner, who's really having a nice year for Kinston. Plus, this week's Diamond in the Rough, and you'll discover Marty Popham's Major League Idol. All right, let's start in Columbus, where we're going to talk about a pitcher that you very well could see here in the next month or two, and that's right-hander Josh Tomlin, who is an all-star representative for the Columbus Clippers. He pitched a scoreless inning as the International League defeated the Pacific Coast League 2-1. Tomlin gave up one hit and struck out one, and Jose Constanza got in the game as well as a pinch runner.
No, and that's fun to see. Josh Tomlin has been the most consistent pitcher in AAA this year. You know, he's not overpowering. He works his pitches in and out with his fastball. He's got a great off-speed pitch. And Ross told me off the air that this guy reminds him a lot of me, but from the right side, which is pretty cool. That's a pretty good compliment. But I want to see this kid at some point because he has done everything he possibly can at AAA.
Well, if he's got your mix of pitches, he's going to be a Hall of Famer, no doubt. All right, let's take a look at the story here with Tomlin. Carlos Carrasco, he's been doing well the last couple of weeks. You see the numbers on his last start there. And of course, Jinmar Gomez, Sunday against Detroit, doing exactly what the Indians wanted him to do, delivered an excellent spot start.
Well, Jinmar Gomez, I mean, that's the whole reason that the Indians called him up to make this one spot start was because what he had done last year. He was the Eastern League Player of the Year. Yes, he hasn't pitched that great in Columbus, but it was his turn in the rotation, and great job for Jinmar.
It sure was, and congrats to him. All right, let's go down to AA Akron now, and we continue our all-star talk with some of the players in the Indians minor league system. And how about Johnny Drennan? He represented the Arrows very well in the Eastern League All-Star game, going 2 for 4, scored a couple of runs, knocked in a couple of runs in the Western Division, beat the East 10-3, and one of his hits was a 2-run homer.
I mean, this kid did everything you're supposed to do in an all-star game. I mean, he's shined, and that's the whole reason that he's been so consistent this year is because he knows what he's doing at the plate now. He's healthy, he's a little older now, so he has that experience. It's just good to see a young kid do so well at the AA level.
And Drennan, of course, hit that home run off Roger Clemens in A-ball a couple of years ago when Clemens was rehabbing. Here's some more numbers on some Akron Arrows, and it seems, Jay, that once a group goes up like Cord Phelps and Jared Geddert, there's other guys like Drennan and Chisenhall and Espino as a pitcher that are stepping in and taking their place.
No, they are, and the Indians you're starting to see the depth come around right now. You saw it at the lower levels. Now you're starting to see it at the upper levels, and that's what the Indians need. They don't have a lot of depth pitching-wise. They don't have a lot of depth defensive-wise, and now you're starting to see these kids really perform at a high level.
Yeah, it's coming around, and it's great to see. And speaking of guys coming around, let's go down to Class A Kinston, where someone is doing just that. Kyle Bellows is really having a mid-season resurgence after a subpar June. Bellows has rebounded well here in the month of July, batting .281 with a homer and 7 RBI this month.
Well, what I'm noticing a lot about these younger players, this is their first full season in professional baseball, and it's a long grind. And now you're getting into July and coming around in August, and you're going to see these kids whether or not they can handle it, and especially in Kinston when it's so hot down there, and you're playing every day. But this is a young, promising star from San Jose State.
Well, it's nice to see what he's been doing of late. And we've also got a couple of other players to follow here. Now, Rob Bryson has just been promoted to AA Akron, and Rob Bryson, he was one of those guys that people have forgotten about, but came over in the CC Sabathia deal in 2008. Look at his numbers. Very impressive. And the key here is he's finally healthy.
Yes, and that's true. And he's not the big part to that CC Sabathia trade. It was Michael Brantley and Matt Laporta. But you're seeing a pitcher right now move up 3 levels so far. And anytime that you're able to do that in one season, and especially this early in the season, normally you'll see the kids move up at the very end of the season to their 3rd level. But this is already mid-July, and he's already at his 3rd level. Very good to see that. He might be in AAA by the end of the year. Who knows if he keeps pitching like this. But you look for this kid next year to really be promising in the bullpen for the Indians.
Yeah, Bryson is really a nice bullpen prospect. He's working out great. All right, let's continue on in Class A. Now we head over to East Lake. And the captain's Delvey Sid has been on fire since the All-Star break. The speedy outfielder hitting .319 since June 22nd. He has 10 runs batted in and 13 steals, Jay.
Well, Sid the kid. I mean, this kid is unbelievable. He's very fast on the bases. He has a very good read, though, when he is on the bases, too, and that's the whole reason that he's stealing so many bases right now. But I like watching this kid because even though he's very youthful, he understands what he's supposed to be doing at the plate, and you're seeing that now take off.
Well, and again, you're seeing some of these guys. Positions are being open. You saw Bo Greenwell move on, and other guys are stepping up. Here's some numbers. Take a look at a couple of relievers, too, that are having nice years for Lake County.
Yes, and you're seeing, like I said, the depth now start to show with the Indians. You know, Preston Gilman and Nick Sardines, you know, you're understanding what these kids are capable of doing at the lower levels.
All right, let's head over to Mahoning Valley now in the Rookie League, where, again, some of the young players the Indians have infused into the system just this season, as most of these kids just came over this year. They were either undrafted free agents or they got them lower in the draft. Well, Nick Kirk has had a very impressive first 10 games, including a scoreless inning last Tuesday at Brooklyn where he struck out 2 Cyclones. Overall, now Kirk has 20 strikeouts and just 1 walk in his 11 innings.
Well, I've been fortunate enough to see this kid since I do live in the Niles area, and he does. He has very good command of his fastball. He has a very good breaking ball, and from the left side, even though this is his first year, 20 strikeouts in 11 innings already is very impressive, and you're going to see this kid, if he can continue to do what he's doing against righties and lefties, move up through the system very fast.
Now, he could be one of those very hard to find specialist lefties that's effective, as you said, Jay, against right-handers as well. A couple of infielders having a great start to the year. Dan DeGeorge, Giovanni Urshela. Good work there for the Class A Mahoning Valley Scrappers.
Well, they are, and you talk about Giovanni right there. I've seen this kid play a couple times now, and very, very impressive defensively. I mean, you don't see a lot of kids make unbelievable plays, big league plays at that level, but you're seeing it if you get a chance to go out and watch him play. Unbelievable talent. He's starting to hit the ball now, and so that's what you're looking for in your developmental stage.
It's nice to see him with the glove too, Jay, because as you talked about, the defense, especially with some of the minor leaguers, is not where you like it to be. The offense is coming around. That's more important, let's be honest. But defensively, you've got to be able to field, because we saw with the Indians, we saw what happens if, of course, the defense isn't up to par. Yeah. All right, stay tuned. We got more coming up here with Indians Minor League Magazine as we have a full show for you here today. Next, Jason talks with Scrappers GM Dave Smith about some of the great things happening in Mahoning Valley and at Eastwood Field. We'll be right back.
Beautiful.